Welcome back, everyone, to Primetime Local News, but Sports Talk with Buck and Josh. I'm just going to stick to one-word syllables with names today. Very busy weekend in the pro sports side of things, though we're going to see a huge slowdown, which is depressing a little bit to me. But exciting news on the local side, and let's start in North Battleford, where we had week one of the CPCA season, the 2019 season, and a few unexpected results. But what we've kind of talked about over the last couple of weeks and getting ready for this season is that it's going to be a very competitive field.
It's going to be a very competitive field from 1 to 20, actually. And you had a Brad McMahon who has never won a day money. Wins back-to-back day monies on Saturday and Sunday, and then wins his first show win. So here's a driver that's been in that top 10. He's been flirting with a top 5 all the last season. So great to see. A great way to kick off the season. But at the same time, the reigning Canadian champion, Dale Mitzwing, was in the hunt for a show. Todd Baptiste was in the hunt for a show. Ray Mitzwing, this is his final season, was in the hunt for a show championship. So a good indication that the level playing field is right across the board in the CPCA. Also, history was made Friday. Amber LaRue became the first female driver in the history of the CPCA. A lot of media buzz around her. They had the Globe and Mail, they had some newspaper out of BC there, as well as in Saskatchewan and Alberta. So great to see, great publicity for the sport of chuck wagon racing.
A few other networks as well were out in North Battleford to check that out, including a former employee of this community, Claire Hanna, who was on hand for that. And as you said before, Chris Molly, a lot of the usual suspects were in the hunt. A couple of guys with a bad first week included Chance Bensmiller. He was a little lower on the totem pole. But again, as you said, it goes to the depth. Just how important is this first weekend in terms of setting up the point standings for the rest of the season, or is it can it be a learning lesson for a couple days?
The thing is, with any other sport, you have preseason. In chuck wagon racing, you really don't have preseason. You hit the ground running, and they did on Friday night. And for sometimes, things don't fire like the way they should, like they did in spring training for you. But at the same time, every point night is very important. If you look at the end of the season in August at the CPCA finals in Lloydminster, those points that maybe you didn't pick up in North Battleford or this weekend in Muscatcheese become vitally important to where you want to place and if you want to race for a Canadian championship.
Absolutely, and it was a great showing as well in terms of the attendance. As always, North Battleford usually is a well-attended venue. They didn't disappoint through all 3 days, and I know the drivers will be looking forward to the rest of the tour, which again gets picked up right away next weekend. One thing that we want to talk on quickly is the Lloydminster Extreme. They've been a bit up and down this season with high expectations after winning a provincial championship. Big win on Wednesday against their rival, the Lakeland Heat. Then another one against the Westlock Rock. Yesterday, 8-5, a little more of a solid win for them. A 4-goal game from Duncan Norris. So more of the result they're looking for against those type of teams.
And you kind of wonder with this team as they get going into the season is because they won the provincial championship last year, they have a bit of a target on their back every night that they go and play. So how they respond from that is very important. So getting off to, in that 500 start is not a bad way to kick off the season.
Yeah, and very quickly we forgot to chat about this pre-show, but Coach Rick Swan from the Bonnyville Pontiacs obviously getting that coaching spot with the AJHL All-Star team that will compete in the World Cup in Russia later this summer in August. So he's already gotten to coach the team in terms of the showcase in Bonnyville in recent years. Now he gets to go international with those teams. So more exposure for Rick Swan as well as that team.
Well, you look at the AJHL, as much as the players are looking to move to that next level, you know what? So are the coaches. Rick Swan has done a tremendous job in Bonnyville. He's caught the eye of Hockey Canada, which is great. He's probably caught the eye of some other hockey programs, whether it be the WHL or college programs, and maybe Rick's days in Bonnyville, don't want to say anything, but maybe he could be moving on to bigger things down the road.
I'm sure there's a few people in the Bonnyville community who also don't want to say anything to that effect. We'll have more sports talk in the next hour on Primetime Local News.